Welcome to Fabulously Flawed, where the perfectly imperfect come to shine. Marni, along with her sensational sidekick Taylor, are the mother-daughter duo that puts the fun in dysfunction. Every episode, we unpack the chaos of mental health while sprinkling in the sass of pop culture. We're here to share stories, laughs, and lessons that remind you to embrace your quirks and to never, ever let anyone dull your sparkle. So join us as we celebrate the beauty of being fabulously flawed. Let's get real, let's get raw, and let's get ready to add a little extra shimmer to your day.
Hey, fabulously flawed friends, fabulous listeners, fabulous everybody. Welcome to Fabulously Flawed. I am your host, Marni, and joining me is my sensational sidekick, my delightful daughter, Taylor.
Hello, beautiful people. How are we doing?
Well, today's episode, we're calling it WTF. What the is going on? I have no words, Tay.
I'll say it. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, we talked about Los Angeles last week when it was happening. Now it's still kind of happening, but we're seeing the aftermath. Yeah. And oh my gosh, you don't understand, Tay. My situation, there's nothing that can compare to this trauma that these people, children, for the rest of their lives. Like, if they, when they hear fire engines, when they smell smoke, there's endless amounts of trauma. Triggers that because of the trauma. So I pray they get healed. But what happened to me at 17,
I know. Yeah.
I'm just going to refresh it. I lived beautiful building, beautiful life. My mother became addicted to crack, and all my belongings were in my car. We got kicked out. We were at a motel one night. The next night, I went to a gas station. Her boyfriend, who was on crack, ripped out my window and physically removed me from my car and drove away with everything I own, and I was left stranded. No family to help me. I had to ask friends if I could live with them. So the situation is different, but the feeling of trauma, hopelessness, loss, everything, despair.
No, of course. I see the similarities. Absolutely.
And the one thing I never did was heal myself.
Yeah.
Nobody said, oh God, Marni, now you're going to go through trauma. Let's go discuss this. These people have a chance to not heal from this, but to be able to live without it affecting them to the point where it could go disastrous.
No, of course. I completely get what you're saying, and I agree wholeheartedly that while there's no way to, forget, you learn to live with it without it being debilitating.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So I wanted to do our share. So I thought, hey, let's collect maybe 500 crayons and 500 coloring books, something not too outrageous, something very doable, because I know children in shelters or people in general, something about coloring, right?
Yes. No, for one of my, stocking stuffers, this Christmas, someone gifted me an adult, coloring book.
It's so therapeutic.
I know it is.
So for these children sitting there, instead of listening to the wails of cry, rather than focus on coloring, it's something that I thought we could help out doing. So I know this.
I know. I love that idea, by the way. I think it is so important and special, and we're doing our part. And, they're getting all the basic necessities. These coloring books are something more on the fun side to take your mind off of it. It's not the typical, diapers and clothes.
Exactly. So this girl I know, who I say friend, I'm going to say acquaintance, I guess. She owns a UPS store. So it was so obvious that I was like, okay, can people drop off the coloring books and crayons to your store? And I would drop it off to you anyway to ship out everything. So she wrote back, no, I'm sorry. We can't have things in the middle of our floor. You own the store. I'm not asking for a stripper pole in the middle. People come to you at the cashier, say, hey, I'm dropping off the crayons, put it in the box, and when you get to 500 or a filled box, wrap it up and we'll ship it out.
I know.
I wasn't asking for anything.
I know. Just to sort of say, this is what I want to help out in LA. I know you know that UPS store, maybe we can.
Right, so she started out with, as much as I think it's a great idea, okay, I'm not asking for a personal favor. This is freaking charity, okay?
Yes.
So then I asked the mayor of our little town, So I inboxed him, who I know is always on Facebook, and he's ignored me before, so I really should not have expected anything. So I say, hey, Mr. Mayor, good morning. Maybe we can make it a community project. Let's collect 500 crayons, 500 coloring books. I think it would be amazing, because he's like, oh, I'm your mayor. I'll do anything to help the people. He's such a fucking liar.
Yep.
Okay, he ignores me. How do you not say, like, oh my God, that is the sweetest thing we could possibly do?
Literally, the fact that he ignored that speaks so much of his character, and that everything about him is a facade.
It is. He's a lie. I'm so glad that, be humble, because the people you see going up the ladder are the same people you see going down the ladder. So don't think you're hot shit just because you're a mayor of Cooper City. Really?
Yeah, I know. It's so disappointing to see that he...
Wait, so I knew he read it because, again, always on social media. So then I waited 36 hours. Maybe my dad thought maybe he was putting together stuff.
Yeah,
right. So I waited 36 hours and I didn't hear anything. I wrote, okay, that's it. Writes back, I'll work on it. Not, hey, Marni, not, what a great idea, I'll work on it. Not even a sentence. Okay?
I think that is so rude. I think...
So I the other night was sleeping in between
people. You know what? I just wish I could say I'm surprised. Unfortunately, we're not. Unfortunately, we're not.
I try so hard to practice what I preach. I do. And I found myself just thinking, what a fucking asshole and what a fucking bitch she is. Like, if you don't like me, but then maybe it's not even about that. They just don't like me. People, they say, if you don't have haters, you're not succeeding. So maybe I reminded her of being just frumpy friggin' suburbs or something. And him, he's just gross. But I don't know.
I mean, whatever.
It just bothered me.
Of course, but whatever.
Wait, then this other person, this other girl, within a ratio of 12 hours of each other, I think this happened. This other woman I know who I've been friends with, again, I'm going to say good acquaintance for a while, texted me something somewhat argumentative. I didn't tell you about this, so I'll tell you about it after, whatever. So then I wrote back saying, oh no, this is what happened, even though there's no relevance in our world about this, but I was just on my phone.
Okay.
Then she writes back 3 more paragraphs. Why didn't do this? Why didn't do this? Like, okay. Now I'm like, woman, take your problems, heal yourself. Right. Do not use me as an emotional punching bag because you're angry, okay?
So she was clearly projecting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now,
people tend to do that quite often.
Right, but the old Marni would have written back paragraphs of evilness.
Yes, you would have, yes.
I would have said, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, kind of like.
Oh, wow, yeah, that.
I don't like that analogy. Can we stop it?
Yeah. Be really harsh in your messages.
Yes. Yes. What I would have told her, what she could have, the way I would have told her to fuck off in every language in every different way, but I didn't, because you know what? I was protecting my peace. I'm not going to engage with you. I was having a wonderful Sunday.
Like, what's the point of that, to be honest?
Why are you questioning me? It's just, this has no value in my life. If you're angry, I get it. We've all been angry, but don't use me, honey. I'm protecting my peace as a fortress.
Right, that is a wrong person to do that to, because you have come so far.
So I couldn't believe it, Tay. I was like, oh my God, did I just really grow and have a mature moment?
Yes, you did. And I'm so proud of you, because I know it takes a lot. And
to just keep your mouth shut.
And to admit that you were, used to be
vicious.
Right, that you used to be someone and now you've grown. And
I understand that it was unhealed trauma. So when I'm triggered, I'm feeling like I'm a scared 17-year-old crying to my family. And they're like, what the fuck, go make dinner. So there was a huge, big misunderstanding there. But I understand now, which is why I beg people, awareness and accountability is the key to recovery. Doesn't take away the diagnosis, but you can live. Like, when I don't go, I will not go to a Heat game at night because it's all bright lights and I felt all my makeup and it's loud. I love football games with my hat and sunglasses, but sensory at like a Heat game, I don't like it. I'm not going to say I like it just to go. So things like that, it's all vanity.
I know. What did your makeup have to do with
it? I don't like the way I have to get dressed up to feel like when we go to a Heat game, it's Miami, but then it's so bright in there. I feel weird even wearing makeup. And when it's just, too much thinking when I go to a Heat game because it's loud, sensory, and it's just not everything's, you see people. And at that time, I didn't want to run into people if I didn't feel fabulous.
Okay. You're so, and to me, in my head, it's actually football games that are way more.
No. I could sit and help. I could referee down. I could sit on the field. I will not sit up high, but I love the football games, that energy and stomp on the, the
Yeah, I just feel like that's way more rah, rah, rah.
But you know what? I guess because I've been doing it since I'm like 14 Dolphin games. Yeah. And maybe I can protect, I'm not worried about how I look because I got my hat and sunglasses, my baseball hat and sunglasses.
So it is all vanity.
It's all vanity.
Nobody cares what you look like.
I know that now, but I was not loved, Tay, by any family member since I was 32 was the last time I spoke to them. I had to be thin and pretty. And when I wasn't, I did not get love. I was weighed on Monday mornings. Instead of saying, you ready for a week, have that nutritious breakfast, you're going to get a great, score on your test.
Right.
It was get on the scale.
Yeah.
Then I remember I have a mother who is more OCD than the OCD diagnosis itself, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I ate an Oreo. And it was, knowing myself now, I was not cautious and there was crumbs. She's like, do. She goes, do you eat the Oreo? There's a crumb. Get on the scale.
I'm so sorry.
I was 13. How am I supposed then?
That is psychotic.
Then my mother's sister.
That's absolutely insane. I'm sorry.
Well, my mother's sister, I hate even saying my aunt, who was supposed to be the mother figure when my mother disappeared. Now, she is the person that had only gained 3 pounds when she was pregnant. There is no.
I've said this before. I don't understand because the baby weighs more than 3 pounds.
It's not. Well, look what happened to him. I mean, come on.
Okay.
So she didn't feed that uterus. She didn't cook him, nor did she take care of him.
Right.
In her world, who did not love me.
By the way, we're talking about
my cousin,
who is
he's just has a record. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So, in any event, my aunt,
a bad person.
My aunt, who did not love me unconditionally, only loved me conditionally, and you had to look good. So when I was lost at 19, food was my favorite thing. I was maybe 180 pounds. I lost my whole life, but nope. You're heavy. You do not look with our table. You are not making it the pretty family table we want it to be. So I went on that was the start of my eating disorder. Well, the eating disorder was overeating, but then I starved myself on fen-phen, the phentermine, and then I went, and I was 20, 21, so I lost weight so easily. But in order to be loved by who I wanted to be a mother figure, you had to be thin, pretty, and not talk. Unless
what she wanted to be, like a doll?
Yes.
Just like
no, she actually said to me, she goes, can you maybe not wear that specific outfit tonight so you don't outdo Dawn, her daughter-in-law? Okay, wait. Then she said to me,
clearly she was intimidated by you if she had to tell you to tone it down.
And then Lisa, who is her stepdaughter, if I was having a conversation with Lisa, voicing our opinions, it's okay to have different opinions, she would say to me, what did you say to her? You zip it. You let her say what she wants. And it's like, okay, so I can now make myself be abused emotionally. So the fact that
You're like one of those movie characters, like the unloved daughter.
The
like
unloved dog.
Like, okay.
Both.
That too, but I'm just saying, like, there's
it's
like
true.
the plot of like one is like the favorite child and the other is like totally discarded.
I was Cinderella.
You were just discarded.
I
I'm
made
so
it to the
sorry
ball.
about that.
It's okay. I made it to the ball and I'm Cinderella and I have more glass slippers than I could ever imagined in my life. But the one thing they did teach me is glamour and fabulousness, because I got to tell you, Tay, that skill has taken me way into my adulthood.
It's honestly become who you are, like in good ways and bad.
I just love I am resourceful and I could put shit together and, figure things out, but there's nothing boyish in me. There isn't an ounce of tomboy other than the way I think. I say things like a man.
You do.
I am as vulgar as a man.
Yes, and like raunchy too.
Raunchy, gross. Like it's disgusting. It's like something like fraternity boys would say.
Yeah, yes. Sometimes. I mean, I will give you, I will defend you here and say that's not mostly who you are, but there will be moments when you're totally a frat brother.
Totally. I say things that are just so like a dude.
Yes, and I'm like, ew, can you not?
And
sorry, did I make you lose your train of thought?
Yes, you did, but it's okay. I'm going to get it in a second. But there is nothing, like, I'm so girly, and I don't know where I was getting with that, what we were talking about before.
I think you were saying, the glamour that you got from your family.
Girly, like nails and lashes and makeup. I mean, it was a point when I was in your age. I lived in Aventura in this gorgeous building, and I wouldn't go to get the mail without sunglasses and lipstick. And which is crazy. But you know what's so funny? You want to flip it in my adult life. When I was a mom, when I was a mom, I people didn't recognize me when I did wear makeup. So I stopped wearing, like, I would walk the dog like in pajamas. Like I literally, when you just wake up, I didn't care what my neighbors thought when I became a mom.
Yeah, when you walk juicy and everything.
I didn't care what I looked like. It was the younger years.
Okay, you know what? That makes sense. But still, the putting on the sunglasses and the lip liner.
Do you know when I was in the eating disorder?
Did you get your mail?
Hey, when I was in the eating disorder clinic, that I went because I thought it was like a spa to get away from my first husband. One of my assignments was to go to the mall, no makeup. Now today I do that all the time. I never did it.
Did you do it? No.
Nope. Would not do it.
I was gonna say, I feel like you would have failed that assignment.
Did not. I didn't even.
Mom.
I know. Like, to the point that
it just makes me so sad because you are so naturally gorgeous.
You're so sweet.
Like, thank you. I know. Nice. And even Dad says it too. Like, he's like, what are you doing with all of that makeup? Like, you're beautiful without it. And especially when you were younger. I mean, think about how much prettier you were and you just didn't see it. And I'm so sorry.
I still have body dysmorphia, body image, self-image.
You know what? Your mother says to me, so I'm not one to, like, when I'm running errands and, like, I'm out and about, I'm not wearing any makeup. My hair is up. Like, I don't really care to dress up for doing stuff, whatever. So when I would go and visit her and whatever, I wouldn't dress up. Why would I dress up for my own grandmother? And she'd say things to me like, do you wear, like,
how are you going to meet a husband looking like that?
Yeah, like comments like that. Like, do you go out in public, like, with your hair like that? Or, like, do you ever put your hair down?
Hey.
And I'm like, okay.
The one time I allowed her back in my toxic bubble, I had, my sleep mask by Lunia, the silk, covers like half your face sleep mask. I had it on top of my head. And she looked at me and she goes, wow, if you could get Jay to marry you looking like that, whew.
She said that.
Well, does it shock you?
No, but it's just like the things that come out of her mouth sometimes. It's astonishing. And I
like, Marni, get over your childhood. It wasn't so bad.
Right. And you know what? It's still.
And it's so funny because I don't even hate her for my childhood. It's about the present day. See you next Tuesday. She has become. When you tell your brother, my mother's brother, my uncle, to write a bad review in my book, that's so mean. She would tell her friends the meanest things about me. Like, she's so narcissistic. It's just, again, she's more narcissistic than the dictionary example of narcissism.
I know she is.
And it's so hard to feel sorry because she doesn't own it or acknowledge it.
I know. She thinks that she is perfect.
She must have been some sort of fucking royalty in her first life.
I don't know what it is, but I can tell you it's far from perfectionism. Far.
No, it's just I used to have.
Far from it, so.
Gosh, you're still on the fars. Yeah, no, it's just.
The fars. There's not enough fars to be spoken.
It's so weird because you have parents, me and Daddy and everything, and it's like, I don't know what it's like to have parents. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
And because you didn't know what it was like, you made sure that I knew exactly what it was like, and I see this often that I'm so fortunate for.
We did things too much. Like, we spoiled you in a way.
No, you didn't.
No, we really didn't.
You did not. Not at all. I had a very normal car.
Yeah, there are other people we know that were like, yeah, you're right.
Car, very.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't go to, like, Bal Harbor and buy name brand shit.
All my clothes were from Forever 21 or Target. Like, you're not putting me in crazy
that's true.
Stuff at all. Like,
yeah, we never brat.
You always have kept me pretty humble.
I tried to.
You really did. I drove a Jetta for so many years. Like, you didn't get me, like, a crazy Beamer or a Mercedes for my first car, like you guys.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm happy to be so zany and unique so weird and different. It's what makes me who I am.
Like, I keep thinking, why would anyone want to be anything but who they are? Like, I would never want to be anyone but me. I love being me.
Oh, you sound like you're in Barbie. Oh yeah, no. I know. I that's good though, Mom. I'm so happy that you're at that point because I know you've gone through a lot of self-hatred in your life and a lot of doubting yourself and hating yourself and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But
we said that last night at dinner, et cetera, because from Willy Wonka at the end, Gene Wilder's like, et cetera, et cetera.
And Dad said, et cetera, and you said who is Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka. Yeah, but anyway, I'm just so happy to hear how much you love yourself because that is so important. We preach self-love all of the time. So many people around the world preach self-love and they don't even practice it. But you are someone.
We have to give our shout out before our episode's over. Oh, okay. So we still have time. We have to talk about.
We still have time.
Spencer and Heidi. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Who doesn't? Okay. Team Spidey right now. I am so, first of all, he set the bar for how a husband should love and support a wife.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's so sweet to see like what he's saying and what he's doing for Heidi and her music. And
it has gone to #1 across the world on iTunes.
No.
So we did our part, Spencer, Heidi, if you're listening, I danced to it. I sent it to you on TikTok. I'm not a famous person, but you did see it. Not yet. Or known. I don't want to say famous or known.
Right. No.
Any soon. But I just think it's so cool how he wants to, he's like, I'm supporting my family. Fuck you, just because I lived here. And he went online and made these videos and God love him. God love him for doing that.
I know. And it's just,
my heart breaks.
Right. While we're here, we want to, again, send tremendous amounts of love, thoughts, and prayers, strength, and everything to those out in LA affected by
the people.
This horrific tragedy. Our hearts are with you every second.
Tay, you don't understand the trauma that these people will have the rest of their lives from things that are unavoidable. You can't avoid sirens, you can't avoid smoke, but someday if someone lights a candle in their older, like a fireplace, there are going to be so many triggers that is going to turn into severe trauma if it's not get healed. So I'm not a doctor. All I can do is just hug and just pray.
And tell people to go see a therapist, go see someone.
You don't think California is providing trauma therapists for everybody? They should.
You know what? I'm sure there are people out there. There's so many resources, there's so many people in the community coming together to provide free or really cheap.
You know what breaks my heart,
resources for those who need it. So I'm sure there's mental health care, especially out in LA.
You know what's heartbreaking? Heartbreaking is that right now, the adrenaline's still going, the shock is still there. But then next week, the week after when the news crews leave, people are left.
Yes. Wait, who posted? Oh, Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother, posted, remember guys, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't exhaust all your resources now. Just know in a couple months from now, people are still desperately going to need so much stuff. Let's just remember that. Just trying to remind people that it's not just, our attention span gets shorter and shorter.
Once the news
as the years go on, as the media coverage slowly dies down, so does people, acknowledging it and doing something about it. So he was just kind of, making a point to keep helping.
I think people who experienced trauma 9/11 that didn't heal themselves could maybe say, look, I wish I had gone to a doctor to understand why I don't sleep at night, why certain noises, sounds, triggers. I mean, the obvious is there, but some little child was sitting with their mother and ran out of their house watching fireballs behind them. Somebody across the board. I mean, there's just too much heartbreak that these people will never recover from.
You know who we should talk about really quickly is Oreo.
No.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys know Oreo by now. He's had a lot of media coverage.
His dad was at work and got notification about the fires. They would not let him up the hill to get to his house.
His house was on the hill burning.
Completely burned down. He went back 5 days later, and Oreo came running out through the gate.
Yes,
he goes,
Oreo survived.
You're alive. You're alive.
No, it was the most heartwarming reunion. No, and Oreo was so happy to see his dad. It was the sweetest thing, and it was both bittersweet. Obviously, the most touching feeling seeing this animal reunited with its owner, but it just made me think of all the other animals that are still lost, and displaced and that didn't make it out. It literally makes me sick to think about that. I can't even talk about it because it makes me way too sad. So we have to skip over this because I'm gonna start crying thinking of all the pets.
They keep saying it's arson, to get rid of the Diddy shit, and it could be a combination.
There are so many. Oh no, there are so many
conspiracies.
Conspiracies, but evil people that have been, some arsonists that have been arrested that are still, out there. Yes. And
wow.
It's just all devastating and scary and so unexpected in the worst way possible.
People are still in shock, and it is.
I can't believe the year started off on such a low, depressing, scary, sad note.
No, my heart breaks because this
can only get better from here.
This is the most unimaginable thing.
Right.
Like, you're watching something. How is Los Angeles gone?
1 minute, all eyes were on Hollywood for the Golden Globes. 48 hours later, it is tragedy.
I'm happy that Nikki Glaser,
over.
At least she got her moment. Everybody knows who she was. Maybe that was her karma for all that she's done. She was, before Hollywood failed, we're just going to give you the last limelight, Nikki, because you've paid your dues and she's busted her ass.
Legit. And, and I think that also that whole bit of hers, that opening monologue and her dialogue throughout the night was so funny that it'll bring people laughter and joy in this time that they desperately need it so badly. So I think that I don't know.
It's going to,
I hate to say everything happens for a reason, because what was the reason for this devastation? But
their humility, people have going to realize items. If you go to a store, think before you buy it, would I run into a fire to get it? Most of the time you're going to say no. So it puts things in perspective.
It most certainly does.
And
you wanted to give someone a shout out before the episode ended. You're like, before episode ends, I want to shout out. And I'm like, wait, no, we still have time.
Oh, it was Heidi and Spencer. We did it.
Oh, it was Heidi and Spencer. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. And
because he has a family. They put all their money in their home. Never in a million years. So he's like, I need to rebuild. So if you could like and download her song, please do it. So I did my part, not my mayor.
Made us feel, I know, not...
Whatever. It's crazy.
We'll do our own thing, obviously. These people don't want to help us, fine. We will do it ourselves and we'll do it better.
Of course. We will get more coloring books and crayons. we will do just because the goodness of our heart. And I didn't mean to quote Wicked, but we do have pure goodness, you and I.
No, I know. It's my favorite thing about myself is,
compassion.
Who you've raised me to be, a really, really good,
compassion.
Person, so.
I think I taught you compassion is our religion.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes, you literally did. And that's why when people talk to me about religion, I'm like, I'm just not a religious person.
We're spiritual. We believe in love and peace. There's just peace and love. Yeah. That is our religion. Yeah. So on this note, guys, I hope hope you have a great week. I know, turn off the news. Just turn off the news, because I found myself, I had a nightmare. I told you the other night that I had to run into a parking lot and we had to go get my son from a fire in the mall.
Yes.
So but we're all living this. So, I give a lot of tips of how to handle anxiety and the grounding method. So just go back to my episodes, listen, go to my website, fabulouslyflawed.com.
And if you have the means to donate to those out in LA, there are resources online everywhere you look, and go and please help those in need if you're able to do so.
Because there are people that just imagine
that need it more than ever.
You can go home to your bed tonight. These people can't.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's heartbreaking. So anyway, we love you guys. We appreciate you. You are our best friends ever in this whole entire world.
Never let anyone ever burst your bubble. And I love saying that, bubble, because you can't be angry saying the word bubble.
I know you love to say that.
I love saying bubble. And never, ever, 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 ever let anyone dull your sparkle. Sending you guys so much love and peace. Bye.
Kisses, guys. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Fabulously Flawed. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday, it's your time to join Marni and Taylor, the mother-daughter duo that's redefining family time with a twist, putting the fun in dysfunction, one episode at a time. Craving more? Visit us at fabulouslyflawed.com. And don't miss out on the feel-good vibes with our exclusive merch at fabulouslyflawed.net. That's with 2 Ds on Etsy. Keep your sparkles shining and spread that fabulous energy.